I think these people are the elites, are physiologically, epigenetically different people. When I was out in Hollywood, I tried to figure these people out. I thought somehow I could convince them to be better human beings. And I realized they will fuck you up really badly because they are operating on a different physiology, that it's just a different animal. I think it's literally a different species. That's the conclusion I came to, that they actually think your kindness or your nobility is actually a weakness. I think they're a different animal. After the age of 20, 25, 30, I think they're gone. So I think it's an unfortunate conclusion we have to come to, that these people will never change. They are what they are. And that's why the swarm must be shattered. So the only way out of this is to organize people. And that's why, for me, hitting Kennedy hard, hitting Trump hard, it's a dirty fucking job. But I'm willing to do that because what ends up happening is you find the 20% who overcome these morons. And they're truly the enlightened ones. Look, since we last spoke, we do these open houses every Thursday. So there was this medical doctor who comes on. He says, I saw Joe Rogan interview with Booby fucking Kennedy for 3 hours. And he goes, I was so moved. And I was going to give him $25,000. I was going to volunteer. And somehow I came across your video destroying Rogan and destroying Kennedy. For 2 fucking days, I had cognitive dissonance because I knew what you were saying was right. But it took me a while to rewire my programming. But that guy was an honest human being, you see?
Totally.
And so now in 2023, we're finding those very honest human beings who are willing to look at the data, look at what they thought was true, self-reflect, and overcome that. So we're finding these truly conscious humans, not robots anymore. And I think that's how we win. It requires us to do this dirty work of fucking attacking these morons uncompromisingly. You can't give them an inch because there is this 20% who's waiting for that because they're right on the edge. And historically, what happens is those people who are coming over here, the swarm brings them back. So it's almost preeminent to expose Kennedy, expose this Vivek fucking prick, and expose all these fuckers because they are being created by the swarm to bring people back in. They're doing this in a very methodical way. This is why what Elon Musk is doing with predictive analytics now, he lets us on, he finds all of our followers, builds an avatar of us, and then markets that to sucker people to the wrong Shiva. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. So they know what people want, and the fake bullshitters are literally repeating our stuff. So the issue that I wanted to discuss, how do you tell the difference between the men versus the boys and the bullshitters versus the real warriors? I think the number one thing people need to actually do is literally take a piece of paper and write down what did they say and what did they do. And you can apply this, and then you can say, does it match? Okay, Kennedy, he said he's against lockdowns. What did he do? He promoted lockdowns in 2020. Oh, Kennedy said he is for peace. Oh, he promoted the fucking Zionists who want to continue perpetual war. Oh, Kennedy said, I mean, you just write it down and you look at their histories. This guy, Vivek, promoted mask mandates. Did you know this? So they asked him, oh, you promoted mask mandates. He goes, ha, ha, ha. You know, at the time, the establishment was saying, don't wear masks. So I said, you must wear masks. I'm into anti-establishment. I mean, the shit that these people come up with, look at what they did when the crisis was taking place. And I think these 2 litmus tests will really open people's eyes, because once they do that, now they have to decide whether they want to be part of the illusion, the Maya, which means they're making a decision on their own to be part of evil. This doctor was willing to look at it, 2 days of cognitive dissonance, and willing to come to the light, you say? But most people are not willing to do that. And if it's presented to them, now they have to make a very compelling decision. So I think the real issue is the difference between a bullshitter and a real warrior, and the difference between the men and the boys is, do their actions match their deeds? And what did they do at the time of a crisis? Number one, look at what people's actions and deeds are. Literally put them side by side. Number 2, look at when they said it. And the third is, have they apologized if they were truly wrong in what they did? If you notice, Kennedy never apologized. He blamed his wife.
Exactly. Because the psychopath has a hard time because their vanity and their pride have a really, really hard time after saying they did anything wrong. They always say, oh, my wife was scared. They always come up with something that offloads a responsibility. And like those people, they can't because they see it as weakness. Just like they see our empathy as weakness, they see any admission of weakness or of any past problems as weakness. And it's like, no, you were wrong. Just say you're wrong. It's not a big deal. Everybody's wrong. Like everybody's wrong sometimes because they all think they're these little gods, like that they can never be wrong. And I'm like, then that shows that they really see us as these cattle, that we have one soul and they have two souls. And those people will do anything to you. Like my mother is such a kind person that I've had to like explain to her how evil works. These people literally will do anything to you. Like they would kill you for a penny. Like they don't see humanity at all. And they keep saying, like, why would they lie? Bobby Kennedy cheated on his wife with 31 women in 1 year, and she hung herself. And he acts like the victim.
I think what people do not understand is they tend to double think these people, and they do not take these people at face value. This is also hard for kind people to understand. And it took me a while to understand that you have to take these fucking people at face value. So Maureen Callahan, in the Daily Mail, very interesting article she wrote. She said he fucked 31 women, and apparently he tormented her. Apparently there's some statements saying that she went to him and said, I'm going to kill myself. And he basically said, go for it. Now, after that, they had a burial ceremony for her. Apparently the burial was done in the Kennedy plots that they have. And he calls in his PR agency. Again, you have to understand these people are very clever with their PR. They bring in all the cameras. They put up the coffin right there. Him and his children are on the left and right side praying over the coffin. Beautiful camera shots. The next day, I don't know if you heard this, they exhumed the coffin without permits and moved it outside of that Kennedy area to an unmarked grave. And then the PR agency said, oh, we moved her grave to have some better sunshine. It's almost like people have to just bite the bullet and accept these people. I'm going to fuck you up. That means they're going to fuck you up. They tell you because they actually know that you don't believe how evil they are. So they're almost telling you to take advantage of you. Like they're laughing at your stupidity. So everything Kennedy says is like at face value. If you look at the entire Kennedy life, John F. Kennedy had venereal disease when he was a teenager. He wasn't allowed to go into the Navy. He failed. The father had to call to get him into the Navy. Then he was a reckless motherfucker. He drove the boats like crazy. He had many, many other close calls. That boat that he blew up was one of the major blunders of World War II. The father again got involved, had the Boston Globe redo the story to make him look like a great hero. Then they wrote profiles of courage for him. Everything was engineered. Robert F. Kennedy, the father of Bobby Kennedy, gave a speech on the floor of the Senate saying why we must stay in Vietnam. John Kennedy, 3 weeks before he was assassinated, and all the Kennedy numbskulls think, oh my God, John F. Kennedy was fighting the military-industrial complex. He wanted to pull out of Vietnam. That's why he was knocked off. Bullshit. 3 weeks before, he's giving a speech saying why we must escalate in Vietnam, why we must never leave. So they have very, very good PR to completely spin them the opposite ways. John Kennedy was the biggest imperialist, make him look like a peacenik. Booby Kennedy, poor guy, we should support him and his fucking voice and shit. He's a complete scumbag. I think it's hard for people to appreciate how evil these people are, that they are absolutely evil. They don't give a fuck about you. If we want to be bullshitted and we believe it's okay to be a hypocrite, we believe it's okay to say personal integrity doesn't meet public integrity. That's what Kennedy said to Megyn Kelly. And your uncle, he had his dalliances. Then your other uncle killed a woman. And then he's squirming in his chair because she didn't ask him any hard questions. But he tried to preempt it and he said, personal integrity and public integrity are two different things. He's telling you right to your face. I may fuck up a lot of people personally, but just believe my facade. So these people are telling people to their face. And I think so if you select leaders like that, that means you yourself are at a lower consciousness. And I think the goal of real leadership is to raise people's consciousness. So what we have is leaders who justify lower states of consciousness. And so that's why we get these leaders, because I think collectively there's a collective consciousness. So if you believe, I think Trump and all these people get elected because people are at a vibration rate of believing that's okay. Oh, I can have 52 affairs and then I can go home and be a Christian or whatever the fuck they want to be. That's why I think, Owen, the opportunity is to raise people's standards. And we're getting people to start flipping, because the concept is, oh, why are you running as an independent? You're never going to win. They go through that. And I said, look, the reason we're running is to raise the standards. So you actually have a real choice. When 2020, the conflict that gets created, it was an amazing opportunity. We exposed the real election systems issues. We exposed the real issues with the backdoor portal into Twitter. We exposed the real issues of health and in the immune system. That's why running for president is very important, because now it's not just me. We have to get on the ballot in 50 states. All of our people are going to face these wonderful challenges and conflicts. Like, you want to push the envelope on this. You want to create conflict, because out of conflict, people are honed. They get better. They get sharper. So we want them to fucking try to cheat us, and we'll expose them even more. It's a huge opportunity. Someone was telling me that I should stop cursing. And I was really thinking about this. Like, I said, shut the fuck up, because these words come to me from my soul because of the injustice that I've gone through. And the injustice for me, Owen, I had to go through this whole shit defending the invention of email. When I fucking invented emails, black and white, but I had to go through that. It wasn't just, I had to go through fighting for my lawsuit. My whole life has been fighting these fuckers. It's not just some fucking etheric. That's why when Kennedy says, I know your plight. No, you don't. You don't know my fucking plight. I know my plight because I've had to fight it. A fucking Brahmin dude, Vivek, doesn't know shit about anything. So all these people are just talking shit. They've never experienced what I've experienced. We did a thing. I said, watch this video to walk in my shoes, because ultimately your personal struggle and the public one has to be interconnected. That's why these guys are so fucking fake, because they have to make up something when they have no connection to fucking reality. I've actually had to fight someone who wouldn't let me into their home because I was a fucking Shudra, what you would call the N word. I've had to face that. It's not some theory. I've actually won an election and someone fucking stole it from me. This is not fucking theory. Mike Lindell selling pillows, motherfucker. So you have this whole entourage of people who've never, ever had to fight the fight. The bottom line is this. They do not want people to build a bottoms-up movement where they rise up on their own. If you can keep that eye on the prize, that's what they don't want to happen. So whenever they see a message, it is literally information, matter, and energy. It's all three things. So they literally are watching this. That's why Peter Thiel's company is doing Palantir. They're literally watching the motion of flow of human thought. They're saying, wow, people are getting inspired by Dr.SHIVA saying, fucking teach your kids how to curse. Then they literally will have some guy go on an interview and they'll promote him, teaching people how to, you see what I'm saying? So they have predictive analytics running. That's why the future is fucking offline. Because these people cannot go out and hand out a fucking flyer. They don't even know how to talk to people because they're fucking pussies. Think about Christ in this temple taking this fucking whip. I don't think he said, oh, can you please move out of the way? He probably said, get the fuck out of the way. So all these Christians against cursing, I say, shut the fuck up. Like, you should teach your kids to curse at the right time. It's very, very important kids learn how to curse at the right person at the right time. And they learn how to express their anger at the devil. It's very, very important. So all these people telling me not to curse, I have to tell them, shut the fuck up. Because you're missing something. Some part of your brain is fucking fried if you don't understand that you must curse at these people. So you have Christians who aren't Christians and you have workers who aren't workers. So all we need is the workers to be workers and the Christians to be Christians. And it's over.
I love it, brother.
All right, everyone. That was my update with Owen. Everyone go to shivaforpresident.com, get a bumper sticker, put it on the back of your windshield. 100,000 people see it. Go to shivaforpresident.com, download this flyer, start connecting with your friends and family, and obviously become a truthfreedomhealth.com warrior.